All right, good evening. The time is 7 o'clock and a quorum of the Conservation Commission being present, I call this meeting to order. First items on the agenda is approval of minutes for July 14th, August 11th, and September 1st. Do I have to take these one by one?
One by one.
All right. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes for July 14th, 2021?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes for August 11th, 2021?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. And can I have a motion to approve the minutes for September 1st, 2021?
1, 2, 3. He wasn't here, so
Oh, yeah.
he can abstain, that's all.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of September 1st.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right, now, next on, just move this stuff over. Agenda item A, request for certificate of compliance, John Magano, 371 Foster Road, Assessors Map 57, Lot 207, DEP file number 3051104. Anything for that?
Anybody here for it?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what, they're probably in the other room or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
If you can't realize that's a
Yeah.
school committee meeting.
Go get them. They're in there.
But
Almost positive it should be coming, so
All
I
right.
want to save it for.
yeah, do you want to, yeah, we'll
Table.
table it until later into the meeting. All right, moving on. Request for certificate of compliance, Brian and Kelly Adams, 50 Wells Drive, Assessors Map 9, Lot 90, DP file number 305756. Mr. Sheehan is going to excuse himself. All right. Anything for that one?
So this is similar to other Wells Drive properties. It's part of the subdivision. It was an older order of conditions. There was wetland replication associated with it, but this property didn't have wetlands. The dwelling was beyond 100 feet from wetlands. So I did a site visit, everything looked good, so I don't have any further comment.
All right.
I don't have any questions.
All right. Any questions? All right, it looks pretty standard, so can I have a motion to accept or approve, yeah. Can I have a motion to approve the certificate of compliance, Brian and Kelly Adams, 50 Wells Drive, Assessors Map 9, Plot 90, DEP file number 305756.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Are you John?
Yes, I am, sir.
All right, I'm going to bring agenda item A back up, so I'll repeat it. Request for certificate of compliance, John Magano, 371 Foster Road, Assessors Map 57, Lot 207, DEP file number 3051104. Can you come up and, or do you have anything to?
No, I hope I'm going to comply, but
All right.
I'm all set if you're all set.
All right. All right, this seems pretty standard. Also, is there anything that you've had?
Yeah, so the only thing that I was waiting for from the applicant was an updated as-built with a statement of substantial compliance, which is, yeah, you've provided that already. And aside from that, just removing the erosion and sediment controls on the rear. Have you already done that?
No,
Okay, so
I
just,
will though,
yeah, just removing the straw wattles and
absolutely.
whatever's there. But aside from that, no comment.
All right, I'm just gonna play it safe. Can you just introduce yourself for the record, just because you did say?
Sure. John Mangiano, 371 Foster Road.
All right, cool, thank you.
All right.
That's, I just wanted to make sure that, because you said something that you're on the record.
I'm on the record.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, can I have a motion to approve the certificate of compliance, John Magano, 371 Foster Road, Assessors Map 57, Lot 207, DP file number 305-1104.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, good night.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
We're at the school committee.
All right. Request for certificate of compliance, James and Joanne Pissaritis, 725 Main Street, Assessors Map 34, Lot 42, DEP file number 305-1051.
Mr. Chairman, Dick Cupo for the applicant. Property has been completed, it's all been stabilized. I met with Joe out there last week and we walked around and looked at the property, copy of the as-built plan and the no disturb markers have been posted on the permanent fence that was, you see there's a post and rail fence up there and there's a stockade fence and those were set at the 25-foot no disturb zone, and that's where we put the placards. Instead of using the normal post that we normally use, the fence is there to demarcate that line, so we put them right on the fence. Easier to see. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer.
Any questions or concerns or anything else?
I'm good.
Plus, Joe, do you know how much is the bond on this one? Or wasn't there a bond?
I believe any bond would have been released by the planning board.
Yeah, sometimes, on some of the projects, there's separate bonds, so I just request that the commission would say, if they approve it, that if there were any bonds, that it would be released that way. Because this project's a couple of years old and it's floating around. I didn't see it in the order, but,
I don't remember having a bond.
yeah, okay. Because I know the planning board voted to release their bond, and,
Well, I can try to look it up real quick.
Now, this is the building that's, you see,
The old
the
wicked
wicked
cheese.
cheesy, yeah. I don't remember requesting a bond for that.
okay. I just don't want to have to come back afterwards.
Well, would have changed that building as compared to what was there, huh? You know, it's really, it's nice.
Well, if it is, I'm sure I'll get a call from the administrative assistant saying, I have this check that I need to. Caitlin,
Kevin, are you connected to internet?
Oh, did the guest pass, it just, the Wi-Fi password just changed, right? Didn't we send out an email about it?
yeah, wasn't, they had to shut it down the other day.
Yeah, I don't even see the town hall network though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, town hall test, I see it.
Oh, you have it?
I see it, I don't know the password.
Oh, I don't even see it.
I probably could just cover it, say that, if you
Yeah.
don't believe there is a bond, but if there is one.
all right. So could I have a motion to approve the certificate of compliance for James and Joanne Pissaritis to 725 Main Street, Assessors Map 34, Lot 42, DEP file number 305-1051, and to release any bonds that may be associated with this.
So moved.
Can I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well.
It's been going on for the last 15 minutes. Pat,
What's that?
This has been going on for the last 15 minutes. plus.
Yeah.
That should be a bombshell. Thank you.
My phone's ringing.
Request for certificate of compliance, Deborah Clark, 9 Erlin Terrace, Assessors Map 47, Lot 33, DEP file number 30544. Is there anybody here for that?
There's no one here for that, I'm not sure if they're coming. But I can speak to this project. It was, as you can tell by the DEP file number, it dates back, you know, a decent ways, almost, I think, the late 90s. The project never got off the ground, so they just wanted to file for a certificate of compliance saying that the order of conditions is invalid because it's lapsed and that no work has been done. I did a site visit, and as indicated on the initial project plan, it's still a residential dwelling. I think the plan was to convert it to a commercial building of some sort, so there's no work done, so I have no issues.
And this, any questions or comments for this?
I have none.
Okay.
Could I have a motion to approve the certificate of compliance, Deborah Clark, 9 Erlin Terrace, Assessors Map 47, Lot 33, DEP file number 305544.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
No.
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right. And now, emergency certification, Albert Piccolo, 80 Pinnacle Street, Assessors Map 77, Lot 25. Is there anybody here for that? Could you speak to it?
Yeah, I can speak to it. This is a resident trying to connect to town sewer. They failed the Title V, so it was deemed an emergency by the Tewksbury Health Department. The property is within 100 feet of a 100-year floodplain, which is not protected by the Wetland Protection Act, but it's covered in our town bylaw. So I just followed it up with an emergency search.
Any questions or concerns?
Well, it's an emergency, I don't have a problem with it.
Could I have a motion to ratify the emergency certification, Albert Piccolo, 80 Pinnacle Street, Assessors Map 77, Lot 25?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The chair votes aye as well. All right, emergency certification, Daniel Johnson, 21 James Street, Assessors Map 61, Lot 8.
Again, I don't think anyone's planning to come for this, but I can speak to it. So this resident at 21 James Street has complained about water rising in their backyard, potentially due to a culvert or dams. They had a beaver expert go out there and they identified 2 beaver dams that were blocking up water into their property. The health agent and I did a site visit out to the property. The water's approaching their septic tank, so it's an immediate emergency from the health department. I followed that up because I just defer to the health department on the septic tank issue, so I followed it up with emergency cert. The beaver expert gave them guidelines to breach the dam, the procedure and methodology on how to do that. So they're working with that now, making sure that the breaching procedure is taking into account, natural resources in that area. So
Who's breaching the dam? Is
They
it
are.
the town?
they are,
They are.
yes. It's on private property,
Oh, it is?
yes.
Okay.
Is that really gonna resolve the problem though? I mean, the beavers are still
They're
gonna
just
be
gonna
there.
come back.
Yeah.
Well, so
It just seems like
There's-
this is just a temporary solution.
I did a site visit to inspect the culvert, because originally it seemed like the culvert was the culprit.
Is that the one on Main Street?
Yeah, right next to the jeweler.
Right.
I also noticed the beaver dams as well. So followed up with DPW. They did a site visit. They removed maybe a small obstruction, but it didn't really improve flow all too much. Mass DOT did a site visit. They said it's not the culvert's not clogged. So essentially, the homeowners are trying to exhaust all their options, because if they can't get the culvert cleaned, then they're gonna assume that it's the beaver dams. And they'll assess the situation afterwards, if it truly helped it or not.
So do you know if it's been breached already?
The permit was issued last week, so I think they started when the permit was issued, or maybe the day after.
Yeah.
So I think maybe last Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
Now, this guy's trying to protect his property, so I don't have a problem with
Yeah.
it.
And it's, you know, the whole water going into a septic,
Yeah.
you know.
All right. Any other questions or concerns about this one?
No, I'm good.
All right. Could I have a motion to ratify the emergency certification, Daniel Johnson, 21 James Street, Assessors Map 61, Lot 8?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you. All right. Notice of intent, Town of Tewksbury, Massachusetts, Livingston Street, Public Fields, Assessors Map 87, Lot 1, DP file number not yet assigned.
Hi. I'm Ben Bowman, the facilities and park manager. So I'm here to answer any questions you guys may have.
I don't know how it works.
I think it's on. It's on.
So my review of the project. So, Vinny, feel free to interrupt me if I'm wrong about anything, but there's issues with flooding on the Livingston Street public fields to a point where it's problematic hosting any recreational activities. The field's just really mushy. Part of the problem is derived from a failing drainage system that consists of a centrally located catch basin, which drains north towards a stormwater drainage ditch. That ditch is essentially treated as an intermittent stream for lack of other information that would prove otherwise. And there's wetlands around there. The discharge pipe, as it currently stands, discharges like 10 feet into the wetland area as the wetlands are delineated on the site plan. So what is proposed is just to improve the subsurface drainage system by replacing the pipe, but also creating like a network, like it branches off into other portions of the field to improve the drainage across the field entirely.
I do have construction documents if you guys would like to see
I
them.
think we approved an ANRAD for this already, correct? I think Mr. Harding was here months ago.
I don't think so. No.
Or was that the mosquito guy?
There was, I think that was the issue
Yeah.
that this was coming, and then they were also, the country club is building something right near there, and then the mosquito guy was also coming.
Okay, and this is the one, the CPA's funding this?
No, we're funding that ourselves.
I don't know.
Would you like to see a construction document for all of this? Like,
Wasn't there funds that were approved at town meeting?
that's what those funds were appropriated.
Okay.
And that's what this was for, this construction.
And those funds are coming out of the CPA, I think.
I'm
I
not,
remember right. Well, I'm on the CPA, so.
okay, so they must be coming out of there.
That's why it looks familiar.
The thing with the project, again, just improving the drainage system, it would result in some temporary impacts to the 100-year floodplain, some temporary impacts to the wetlands, 50 square feet, I think. The discharge pipe will be located in the same location. There's gonna be, the only grading is gonna be 30 feet, a 30-foot radius around where the catch basin will be. And that area is located outside of the 100-year floodplain. So, there's no like compensatory flood storage requirements there.
I mean, I have a brief history if you'd like to hear of what's really happened down there. And you know, in the last 2 years, the main culvert where the pipe connects, that red line that you see down the middle of this to the catch basin there in the middle of the field, that has started to deteriorate and break down, and within the last 2 years has completely collapsed. So where you see all these red lines here, this is all where water now is collecting, and every time that it rains with a heavy rain, we get probably 6 to 8 inches of water in this area. So I have to have my parks department go down there with a pump and pump the water off this field, which takes a couple days. So, you know, I went through with Kevin Hardiman, and his team created this document. And this is to replace that main drain, the 4-inch pipe that's collapsed, with a 6-inch pipe. And if you go to the page behind it, it has, you know, it's got a trench with crushed stone in it and a fabric, so that everything will kind of drain into this culvert. Now, the culvert, I believe, is a man-made culvert.
Yeah.
You know, it was made, and it drains now all the water out of the west side of Livingston Street Park. So everything on the west side, the other side of that, of Livingston Street, drains through this culvert. So this is definitely a man-made culvert, and when we started this project and everything else, I really didn't realize that we had to go through conservation and everything else, figuring it was a man-made culvert, and it was really replacing a pipe that was already in the ground. So we're really only cutting into that area probably for about 20 feet, if that. So it's only a trench, and it's down probably 2 feet in the ground that we're digging into the ground. If you look at the dotted lines around the perimeter of the red area, we've stripped the grass out of that area to maintain the grades, so that we don't affect any grade or anything like that.
Yeah, it's only an inch that you're going down, it's
Yeah.
just stripping the grass.
You know, so we've tried to keep everything to where it is now. The only real thing that's going to change is the height of the catch basin is actually going to rise a little bit. It's down too low now. It's collapsed and down. So that's going to come up a little bit, and we're going to grade around 30 feet around that whole catch basin, take all the puddling and everything out of there, slope it more towards the catch basin, and then resod the surface of this area.
So the area of excavation, that part was already conducted prior to coming. And then in coordination with Vinnie, we threw up some straw wattles. You know, soil stockpiles been covered, so.
The issue that we have with this is we have, it's used so much. It's used from when the snow melts. These coaches want to get on the field. And it's used from when the snow melts, and it's still being used around that area by football right now. So it's so hard to try to do this, you know, you can't do it in the winter, obviously, when the ground's frozen, and it's so hard to get, you know, all of this to work. It's got to happen within a 6-week period. So it's very, you know, once this window of opportunity goes away, like next spring will be the time to do it, and that with the sod and everything else, that'll eliminate all playing on that field next summer. It'll completely, you know, we won't be able to play on that field. unless this thing gets done before the snow flies. So we're kinda really under the
Yeah,
gun
I guess you
Yeah,
with this.
burn borrowed time on the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem with it. I think it's great.
yeah, so unfortunately, without a file number, we can't approve it yet. But I think next meeting, you'll be agenda item A, and it seems so straightforward, I don't,
I don't even think you have to come back. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
that-
it's just a basic.
yeah.
So when this gets approved through the DEP, and we get a file number on this?
Yep.
Will I be able to start this project like right
So the
away?
process, so once they issue it, the Conservation Commission has to come back and re-adjourn to actually say, yes, we approve of this, and formally approve. And then, once that's approved, you can get the order of conditions the next day. Then there's a 10-day appeal period from Mass DEP after that. That's just the state procedure.
So there's no way that you could make this like happen, like by online or like so that we can get this approved, like, because it's almost now where
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to shut this project down because, grass will only take until it snows or the ground really freezes, and then I'm done. And then once that happens, we're done there until, like I said, it gets so much use in the summer, we'll be having to find all these teams, new homes, and that's very hard to do because everything in Tewksbury is just so much use that it's hard to find fields as it is, never mind having to relocate everybody that's on that field now to different fields.
The only thing I can suggest is that, because we can't approve it without that DEP number, that's.
No, right, no, I agree with
But
that.
I don't know how the other members feel, but
We can have an emergency
we can
meeting.
have an emergency meeting. If you go to DEP number tomorrow, just call us up. We can have an emergency meeting, approve it, then as 10 days go by, you know what I mean?
So, I don't know, honestly, don't know how emergency meetings work. I don't know, like, how to comply with public meeting law.
Yeah, we've had it before,
Okay.
and as long as it's 3 members, I'd be willing to come in.
Yeah, so I would also be willing to come in. Let's just, like, we can't make any hard decisions right now, but,
Once-
please research this, and if it's allowed, then,
That'd be
I think
great.
we can gather
Thank you.
3 people to have an emergency meeting. Like,
I'm under the gun
assuming
right
that
now.
we actually can. If we can't, then,
Okay, yeah, it's the
that's
first time I've
just how
heard
it
about
works.
that.
But yeah, so, all right.
Like I said, that's
Yeah,
the only
thank you.
suggestion I can come up with.
Great, thank you very much.
I think something like this is only emergency meeting for the town. It's not
Well,
Do it for just anybody.
It's for him,
Yeah.
it's, it's.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
The public good.
Yeah.
It's a public good, correct. So, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to continue, notice of intent, Town of Tewksbury, Livingston Street Public Fields, Assessor Map 87, Lot 1, DEP file number not yet assigned, to our next meeting, or to, if we're able to have an emergency.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you very
Thank
much, I
you.
really appreciate it, guys. Have a good night. Good luck.
Oh, yeah. Old business, new business.
I have no old business, new business. It's what we discussed earlier with, I had discussed earlier with Joe in regards to the construction across the street from the novitiate. I think we should go down there and inspect,
Okay,
because it's wet.
okay.
So that's just a heads up.
I think I saw that. It looks like they're digging for the foundation of the house or something
Yeah.
that's gonna be there. Yeah, I was surprised. It looks like it's very close to the wetlands. They didn't have to file, but like, sometimes people,
Yeah,
they dig where they think they should be, but if it's, if it's actually flooding, then, we should.
so just as a background for all commission members and anyone watching this, so that project, the developer did a wetland delineation. I think in 2018, they provided me the wetland delineation report with the site plan. And I walked the site with them as well. Before construction, I had also coordinated with them to stake out 100 feet from where they flag the wetlands.
Oh, that's right.
It was
Alright.
surveyed in. I agree that once this tree started to be cut, it looks a lot.
There's so much room back there, that I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of people realized how far that land goes back.
Exactly, but I agree that a site visit should be warranted. I'll take a look just to make sure, like 100 feet from the flags, or wherever they put the stakes, and if there's been any encroachment, I'll, you know, issue a violation notice or enforcement order, so.
Thank you. All right, anything else?
I have nothing.
With that, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, you got something?
Oh,
Town, or not town clerk, but a clerk for the Conservation Commission. James was the
Oh, yeah.
clerk before. I think it's just a title. I don't think it has a lot of significance, but James was technically the clerk for the commission.
so,
If you, I
So
don't think
we
it's.
can do it at the next meeting, because if the clerk would be the third person, if you weren't here, then you were here, the clerk. And hopefully, we have a new member soon. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you weren't here and you weren't here, the clerk would take
Yeah.
your spot, so at the next meeting. Or maybe, but if you and you weren't here, we wouldn't be having a meeting until we get a third person.
Yeah.
Or a fifth person. So I think we can hold off on that, I don't think that's imperative right now.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up.
Yep.
And like I said, since if both one of you, because if you're missing and you're missing, the clerk would take
Yeah.
over, but it would be no me, it would just be, we wouldn't have a quorum for it.
Yeah.
all right.
I think I got one person to apply though, so.
I got
Okay.
I don't know how it's going, but.
Yeah, it's not up to us to approve it. All right,
I think I had one more
oh,
thing.
one more. We almost keep the record.
Yeah.
That's my man.
Oh, I think they're just utility exemptions, like National Grid doing work, they're exempt from, because it's like maintenance on a electric utility, they're exempt from WPA and our town bylaw, but I just feel like I should mention that to the commission as well.
Is this in relation to any specific project or just?
No, just
All right.
general, they usually send a notification, to me, just saying, this is the work that we're doing, here's the WPA citation, town bylaw citation. So I just felt like I should
All right.
let you guys know.
Thank you. All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. The next meeting will be December 1st, 2021.